Hi, my name is Nancy, and I'm saying now my name is Nancy because I got the feedback that if people don't know me, which at this time everybody who's looking at my videos probably knows me, but if somebody doesn't know me, I must say who I am. So my name is Nancy, and I write blog posts in my website, Gutsy Parenting, and I give ideas and tips on how to introduce mindfulness in your life as a parent or as a teacher. And today, my topic is on two things that you can do when your child is overwhelmed with schoolwork. And in these times in which we have to do homeschooling, this is probably going to be the case sometimes, especially when the teacher is sending new work and when that work seems to be a lot, and when they don't really feel like they want to do things because it just feels like that there is too much. So as I have been saying before, if you try to do obviously uh, things for them to feel more in high spirits, that probably obviously will help them because they have to be in a good mood, just like us adults. um, I well, I always forget to say things because I'm very new to this. But yesterday, when I was talking about how the days are obviously, we're taking day by day, and yesterday was a different day from the one before. And some days we are not waking up as well. I always wake up a little bit earlier than them, but they haven't been waking up as early as normal days in school. So Joe, PE coach Joe, goes out of the window sometimes in the morning, but then we try to take that back at some point in the day. And when they don't do Joe's exercise, and we go to the park and we have some fun together. I went out yesterday and I saw some people in the park, and I from obviously from far I said hello to several people. I smiled to other people that didn't say hello, and it's just that having to keep that the spirits up. So one of the first things that I would say before talking about those two tips for your children specifically is that you need to have your spirits up so they can pick up on that. For me is to go and do some exercise. In a few minutes I'm going to sneak out and go and do some jogging. I will talk about other ways of doing exercise if you cannot get out of your house, because I can do that now. My children are 10 and 12, and I can sneak out for 15 to 30 minutes, but I couldn't do that for a long time when they were little, and I had to find ways of keeping my blood pumping, and it's just about that, just a few minutes a day in which you make your heart pump faster. That will lift your spirits, especially in days like today or yesterday, in which you wake up and the day is gray. And I think that has had an impact on the children as well. Yesterday they were not really doing too much work, and I did not worry about it. The reason is because I had a few calls and a few emails that I sent to my students, and the calls that I made were mainly with the parents. And I like to see, because I don't teach main subjects or anything. I only teach mindfulness to the children that I have, and I get in contact with the parents to see how they are and how their well-being is. In the welfare side of things. So I like to talk to parents to see how they are doing more than the children, because I can have a feeling of how things are managed at home through the parents. So one of the first questions, of course, is how you are doing, and you can tell a lot by the way that people are answering back. And one of them, who is just, it was just very unfortunate, and I don't really know if this is COVID-19 related, but this family has lost a member of their family last week. And it's not only that is very sad, but also overwhelming to that child, because she was being emotionally supported because she had already lost two other members of her family last year. So just imagine how that is for that child. And knowing these things and having that conversation is very important, because sometimes we just close up when we're feeling down and we don't want to talk about what is going on. But it's very important to talk about it, because the minute that you know that, you can have more empathy from people. So if you feel down, just talk about it. Talk about it with somebody that is going to be obviously empathetic and emotionally connected with you. You have to talk about what you're feeling. And so that made me think a lot on how to manage the day of my children yesterday, because I can feel that now it's kind of sinking in, that it's not all about the fun of not being at school, but it's how they have to actually self-motivate in order to get things done. And they did not do much yesterday, and I'm fine with that. But then we do have that conversation every night of, how did you think that you do today? And that feedback that they have get from themselves, and they can kind of rate themselves. I don't really do anything more than asking a question, and they pretty much tell me, I actually didn't do much today, and I think I'm going to do better tomorrow. And if they don't, they will just go through the same conversation, and it will sink in that they need to self-motivate. Um, but the best way to show that is by doing it yourself. So even though I don't really feel like going, because I don't feel like going out in a gloomy day, I push myself, and I know that I don't feel like going. And the days that I don't feel like going to jog is the days that I push myself to do it, because it's the days that I need it the most. Today is one of those days. So I just push myself and go. And I always know that when I come back in a better mood. I come back with a more positive way of seeing things. And I like also the fact that I go out and I, throw hellos to people, and also smiles to the ones that look grumpy, because I know that they must be also feeling grumpy for a reason. So even though I know they are not looking at me, I smile and I send in my mind, like, love to those people, because they need it. They need it. So okay, going to the two tips that I was saying, that I was talking about, is the first one is to tend to their emotional need. As I said before, this is a time for being more emotionally connected. This is a time where you can grow yourself, emotionally intelligent, and also when you can, through you, help your children to also feed that emotional intelligence, because we put so much emphasis on academics, but if your child is not emotionally full, if they don't have a full cup, they will not really be concentrating, and they will not be doing well, and they will just be doing things just for doing them. Like I was asking my children, when we went into the second point of this video, into the action plan, why are you doing what you're doing? So so the first part is emotionally connect with them. And one of the things that I do with them sometimes, when this actually is showing even in a physical pain or a physical ache, like yesterday was a headache for my son. I went through something that is called a body scan. So I let him lie down, on me on the couch, and then I was obviously trying to guide him through this body scan. And I'm gonna lead you through it now quickly. It's just not gonna be as slow as I would do it because of the time, but this is the same thing that you would do with your child. So imagine that your child is there next to you, and it could be that they have a headache or not, but sometimes it's a headache that comes first because of the overwhelm, or because of the lack of peace. And I would just have him, lying down, and the child is going to close their eyes, and you ask them to close their eyes, and then you just guide them through the feet, and then you just tell them just to notice your feet, notice your toes. And you can do that for yourself right now, but it's the same that you're going to be doing for your child. So if you just lie down there and notice your toes, and then notice the soles of your feet, and notice your ankles, notice the shins and and your knees. Notice the upper part of your legs. And at this point, I said to him, which I like doing even when you're on a chair as well, try to sense the space that there is in between your body and the couch. At that moment, my child was like, "Oh, that's not possible," he said. And I said, you don't need to say if it's possible or not. Just try to sense the space in between your body and the couch. And then let's get up to your waist. And at some moment he said, "Oh, this is weird. It's like tingling." And so he started feeling something. And then you go through the stomach and notice how your stomach is going up and down. Your tummy is going up and down while you breathe in and out. And the moment that you connect with that breathing in and out through the tummy, most children start relaxing really, really well. And for my son, he does not like to close his eyes, but at this point he was closing his eyes. And then you have that connection between your body between your body and your breath. And then you go through the chest, and then every time you're breathing in and out, you notice there is some movement inside. Just feel it, just feel what is there. And then you go up to your nose. Where is that breath coming in? It's through the nose, so you notice the temperature of the air going in and going out, going in, and see how that breath is making you feel when you breathe in and you breathe out. And now we're gonna go up to the shoulders and feel if there is any tension. Shoulders and arms and your fingers. And now notice your neck, your face, your head. And at this point, because I knew that he had a headache, and you can do it with any other part of the body, I said to him, now, every time you breathe in, you're breathing in new air and new oxygen. And I want you to concentrate on that part of the head that is hurting and just feel it. Just breathe in. You don't know why that headache is there, but now it's time for that breath to come in and to bring you into the present. And now that breath brings you into the present, and by breathing out, in exhaling, you are exhaling that which is in pain. And you breathe it out, it washes away from your body. And every time you breathe in, think of that grateful feeling and that thanking you can do to that headache, because thanks to that headache, you are being in the present right now. And now you can breathe in, thank your headache, and you don't know why it's there. You don't need to know why it's there, but you just thank your headache, and then you just breathe it out. Now you know you're here in the present. Breathe it out, and you can do it as many times as you want. At this point, he was not doing anything. He was just breathing really peacefully. His eyes were closed, which is very strange for him to do, but he was just breathing in and out. I breathed in and out with him about 5 times. And then when you feel that you're ready, you just say, now when you're ready, you just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, and you can open your eyes. And then he opened his eyes, and then he stretched. And he said, "Oh, mommy, that was like a long nap, but in a very short time." And then I said to him, "Well, this is what I teach my students. And this is actually the first time I'm actually doing it with you," which can seem a little bit strange, but I don't push my children to do anything. They just see me doing things, and they see me doing these things with other children, and I don't push it. It's only when in these moments, like it happened to be with a headache, they ask for help. And it's just the best times when you can actually introduce things like this, not pushing them, because the more you push them, the more they get rejected. So that was the first thing, the emotional connection, because you are acknowledging that they have a pain, acknowledging that they feel overwhelmed, and acknowledging anything they are feeling. And then the second thing is, once that they went through that and through talking through their feelings, which is what you would do as a mom as well, or as a dad, you just go through your feelings, you feel what you're feeling, acknowledge it, breathe in and out, connect with your body and with those thoughts that are causing that. And once that you feel relaxed, then you have a clear mind, a clear prefrontal cortex that is going to allow you to take the next wise step. And in this moment, for them, because I didn't only have that episode with him, but later on it was with my daughter when he received this long, super long message from her teacher. Oh, he just remembering me makes me overwhelmed, because the length of that message made her overwhelmed, and she just became really, really gloomy. And when I noticed it, I said, "Well, you want to talk about it?" First, she didn't want to, and then I said, you know what I say. You're gonna feel like that until you bring it out. And then she said, is yeah, is my teacher, is all this that she's sending, look at this. And then she started being a bit angry as well. So I said, okay, I understand, because by seeing that, I also understand, because I had the same thing on the phone, because I couldn't get that call from the teacher, and she sent this voicemail. And then I said to her, and it was such a long voicemail that the voicemail cut off at some point, because she had more to say. And I said, I think she was just probably reading that what she sent to you, because it was a very long conversation that she was doing with herself. So first of all, I acknowledged what she's feeling in that moment. I said, okay, what are you feeling? It's too much, she said. She said, I cannot, it's too much. There is too much to do. And I said, okay, why do you think that she is sending that long message? And then she started thinking, and she said, I don't know, it's too much. And of course, at this point, she doesn't want to think, because she is overwhelmed. So first we went through the feelings. How are you feeling? And let me see, what is making you feel that? Well, there is all these things to do. I said, okay, all these things to do to me just seem like they are all floating here, out here, but they are inside your head, right? So let's put them down. So we made a list of the things she needed to do, which turned out to be maybe, I don't know, like if you put the outline, there were like 6 things or something like that. And 6 or 7 things, maybe. We kind of divided them. And then seeing them on the paper, and I showed to her, when you have something that is like bothering you and it seems like it's a lot, just put it on a paper, write it on a paper. And when you see it on a paper, it's it's much more manageable. So once she saw it on the paper, she was like, okay, it's probably not that much. And then from there, I said to her, okay, it's not that now, you don't feel that it's that much. Like, what you're feeling, that you feel that overwhelmed. And then she said, normally for her, it's in the throat. And we all have a certain point in our bodies where things kind of block more. For my son, it's very regularly a headache. For my daughter, it's more here in the throat. And it's kind of like she cannot talk about it, or she cannot let it out, or she probably would like to complain and she can't. So after that, I said, okay, so let's breathe in and out. We do the same kind of exercise, not a very long one, but it's like, because she has done it before. So we breathe in and out. We let that feeling go out from the throat. For her, it's like, okay, now we can feel better. When she feels that she feels better, then she can stretch a little bit. And then we got to that action plan, which is the step number 2. Now do you feel good? Or if you don't feel great, at least you got rid of that blockage, because the blockage is not going to let you think more wisely. And then we went through the list. And when I went through the list, I was asking her in each of those points, how long does this take you a day? How long does this take you a day? And then it turned out that some things could take her 5 minutes, some things could take her 10 minutes, some things would take her 30 minutes. And when we put all together, we realized that she could actually do everything in maybe 1 hour a day. I'm not talking about the stuff like creative or exercise. All those things I put them on a separate place where she can see that they are fun, because it's good that they see that they have fun. So I put it in a different place as a fun thing to do. But the academics and the maths and the research and all these other things that she had to do, I just put them in little slots, and I said to her, we're gonna put them now in a different kind of a way that we were doing it last week, just for her to see that it's only what step by step. You take it day by day, and then you take it hour by hour. And when she realized that she could actually do everything in about an hour a day, then she felt much more relaxed because it's there on the paper. And it could take you an hour a day, it could take you 1.5 hours a day. It depends how quickly your child works. But you just go through them, like you ask them, how much does this take? Now, it turned out to be an hour a day. Now, that is on the paper. Maybe the hour is going to turn out to be 2 hours, but that is going to be the reality check, which is what we have, because normally we also underestimate the amount of time that things take us to do. But that's a learning curve as well. So she saw that what apparently with what she's saying is an hour a day. I pretty much think that is going to be two. But then that hour a day, we divided into maybe I like to use the Pomodoro technique, which is the one that I use also to work. And we're just trying it out. Sometimes they cannot be concentrated, but I like it because it implements 20 minutes of undivided attention to your work, and then you have a 5-minute break for just kind of stretching or go for a glass of water, and then you come back to the 20 minutes that are next. And I have been trying to do the 3 slots, so you have an hour of work. At the moment, we're not there yet, because when they have the little break, they don't come back straight away. And it's funny because I am trying, and I know that it's about repetition, so I will keep trying, and I will tell you if it does work, because it's something wonderful for me to do for work, but I'm not sure if it's working really for academics with the children. But if it does, I think it's a genius idea, because that also trains them to be attentive and to start and finish a task, which is what you need to do, and which is what one of the things that you do as well with meditation. You go from and mindfulness is like that. If you're gonna serve yourself a cup of tea, you try to have undivided attention to the steps of pouring the water and being in the moment. It's kind of slowing down what we're doing, so we are present. So I'll tell you how it goes with that Pomodoro technique, and I have been trying it. It's still not successful yet. They tend to be okay in the first 20 minutes, and my daughter tends to be more like her attention span is much better than my son's. But I will try, and I will keep trying. I will repeat and repeat and repeat. So I think I did not forget so much today. And one other thing I want to invite you to is to that global meditation that everybody in the mindfulness world is talking about. And I probably now in social media, lots of people are talking about that. Tomorrow, 4th of April, there is a global meditation. I hope I'm not making a mistake with the date, because I don't know in which day I'm living right now. But tomorrow, yeah, today is the 3rd. I have to make sure that I'm not making a mistake with this, because I have made mistakes in the past with dates. So tomorrow is the 4th of April, and there is a global meditation, and I would like to guide one, but I think there is so many out there that are probably going to be great, like John Kabat-Zinn's or so many. I will try to put a link for some of those great ones down in the description box. But for now, this is all what I have to say today. It is 8:20 right now, and I will still sneak out for at least 15 minutes before they come down, because they normally stay reading a little bit before coming down. And by the looks of it, PE coach Joe is probably going to go out the window for 9 o'clock. Maybe not, maybe not. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. But bye for the moment. And if you like this video, and if you got something good out of it, or if you think that it can help somebody else, please give it a like, and you can pass it on to somebody else. And it would be nice if you could also subscribe to my channel. Thank you for now, and this is Nancy from Gutsy Parenting, and have a great day. See you.